My father was an engineer, my mother was a clerk. They taught me right from wrong when clouds of war were growing dark. I saw the hunger marchers charged by mounted cops with clubs, and millions drawing dole because there wasn't any jobs. I saw the fascists marching, and my cousin went to Spain. The bishops blessed the bombers and their deadly metal rain. In Moscow men were shot because their faces didn't fit. And in Paris Hitler danced and Churchill said his little bit. Where were you, Jesus, when we needed you? Where was your church when the Gestapo searched and the piles of bodies grew? The people fought and died. The Pope was on the other side, but together we turned the tide till Dover skies turned blue. But some of us survived to raise a people's flag of red. From Beijing to Berlin, no fascist dared to raise his head. The French were driven home by the people of Vietnam, but the Yankees took their places and it all began again. In Moscow, apparatchiki had big black limousines, and the people had to queue for hours to get a lousy tin of beans. In Berlin they built a wall to keep the people in, and in France General de Gaulle was fearing for his skin. How can you dream when the dream goes sour? Where can you look when the thug and the crook have taken away your power? Some people gave up hope and they turned to smoking dope, and the rest we learned to cope and waited for the hour. In pubs around the town we floated rhetoric on booze and jumped into each other's beds. What have we got to lose? But women started saying they weren't taking any more, and Martin Luther King reminded us what Bible study's for. In Africa, Mandela served a quarter century, but Fidel sent his lads to save Angola's liberty. In Chile, Victor Jara and thousands of comrades died. In Peru, the priest took up the gun and went to join the people's side. How can you pretend it doesn't matter what you do? How can you show your latest video and say it's all the same to you? You may frequent the smartest bar and drive the smartest car, but I don't care who you are. You know what's really true. Now I'm over 70 and I'm such a bitter sod, because I try to fight for righteousness, but I turned my back from God. Everything I tried to do was ashes in my mouth, until I started listening to the voice of reason from my youth. Battles I have fought, I tied one hand behind my back, as if a man was only meat and bones within a sack. Leaders that I trusted have betrayed and let me down, but there's a spark in all of us that keeps on coming round. How could I deny what makes my true humanity? I've got a hole inside my soul and it's called divinity. We're never on our own. We never fight alone or die without the one who sets the captive free. So open up your eyes, there's just one way to win the prize. Don't mourn, organize, accept the reason why you be. The struggle never ends. You gotta know your proper friends, accept the weapons heaven sends, and learn from history. Talking about freedom, talking about freedom, freedom, and necessity. Talking about freedom, talking about freedom. As someone said, the only freedom is the recognition of necessity.